My garage. The killer place where I keep all my toys. Your garage? Not so much. But that's about to change. I'm coming to your house, and I'm bringing my team with me.
We're able to take really boring stuff and turn it into something very cool.
We're gonna turn your garage into a place you never thought possible.
This is unbelievable!
I'm Bill Goldberg, and this is Garage Mahal. Welcome to Ann Arbor, Michigan, home to the Car and Driver magazine Test Garage. This place has played host to some of the most amazing cars in the world, but you'd never know it by looking at it. Shop manager KC spends most of his workday in the garage and has done his best over the years to keep this place running smoothly. But somewhere along the line, the clutter's taken over.
Everything that we do in the garage eventually trickles into an article for the magazine, for the website.
So we're here to give Car and Driver a space worthy of the magazine's name. It's time to turn this crowded mess into the ultimate test garage. Wow, here we are. Eddie, I know you're kind of the king of this area.
A little bit.
But Casey, you spend most of your time in here. Please tell me what you do in this space, because it's pretty cluttered.
The garage in its current state is a total disaster area.
I have absolutely no idea how they get any work done in the Car and Driver garage.
Please give us a tour.
Over here, this is our workbench. You generally have to clear a big space if you want to get anything done.
Workbench and kitchen, I see. So I see the press lounge banner. Pray tell, where is your lounge area?
It's located over here. It's pretty sad.
As far as the lounge area is concerned, I hesitate to even call it a lounge area.
What's your wish list?
Number one would be a vehicle lift.
And we start jonesing for track time in the winter. So like some kind of racing simulator. We work hard and we play hard. So we want a nice lounge area where everybody can chill out.
You know, to me, the emphasis is more on the lounge area than it is the
Very
garage.
important to them.
What do you got, Jamie?
All right, so definitely have our work cut out for us. We want to have a working sink, a nice workstation, and getting the tools so you can find them. Tires, huge issue. I want to get those off the ground. So maybe a racking system, and maybe give you some diagnostics and that lift you want.
Casey, Eddie, one thing I can promise you. When Jamie and I and the Garage Mahal team are done, you're going to want to live out here.
Excellent.
You guys ready to get dirty?
Absolutely.
Well, then let's do it. So here's the plan. We're installing raised tire racks along the garage's perimeter to get those tires off the ground and to open up the space. Then we'll add in new cabinetry to contain the years of accumulated clutter. We'll update Casey's workstation and add recoiling air hoses and extension cords throughout. We'll hook the boys up in new couches, a drop-down projection screen with projector, and a racing simulator for those days when it's too cold to hit the track. And of course, we'll top it all off with new paint, improved lighting, and a whole lot of modern garage amenities. Lastly, we gotta get these guys a professional lift. No more floor jacks and jack stands. This is Car and Driver after all. It's your favorite time again.
Let's gut this place.
Let's get the boys. All right, let's get this place cleared out. Come on, ladies.
Let's go, guys.
Let's talk for a second about the lounge area, or lack thereof. I know we're gonna do some type of race simulator in there, but at the end of the day, it's gonna be 3,000 times better than that quote-unquote lounge area they think they have now. Simulator.
Yep.
Big issue is space. Is it possible to do some kind of hydraulic?
I mean, we could maybe do it in this little nook. We have about 5.5 feet. We can maybe even have the simulator fold up this way and get out of the way of the lounge.
Man, if possible, that would be awesome.
We've accomplished cleaning all of the garbage out of here.
And now that the garage is cleared out, we send in our electricians to get to work.
One of the issues we have with the electrical is we don't want to scar the walls everywhere because it gives us drywall work and puts us behind schedule a little bit. So knowing that's the case, what do you have in mind to get around that?
Well, what we're going to do is bring the power from up top down here by fishing the walls down. There's multiple different tools for fishing them down the wall. One is this fish tape that we use. It's just like a rigid steel tape.
Okay. So someone at home, they don't want to scar the walls, have drywall issues, they can use this type of tool or another tool to get around that.
Exactly.
I would say the #1 issue when walking in the Car and Driver test garage was trying to find a way to get the tires that they had strewn throughout the entire garage up and out of the way. Where are we gonna have the biggest issues?
Time right now, I think tire racks going up, they have a lot of work, so that's the biggest thing. And then the simulator, we have an idea of what it's gonna be, but we don't have the exact idea. So we have to figure that out, engineer it, and get that stuff built.
So we got to work building the tire racks, but we ran into a problem once we took a look behind the drywall. Turns out this place was built with tin studs, which won't be able to hold the weight of all those tires. So we had to section out the drywall at the proper height for our racks and mount 2x8 panels between the studs, effectively reinforcing the walls in order to withstand the added weight. If you find this issue in your old garage, this is a great way to reinforce the studs for added support. And while we're opening up the space, we've decided to employ the unused storage closet to house the new air compressor.
What garage will be complete without a gigantic air compressor?
However, there are offices just on the other side of the wall, so it's important for us to make sure we soundproof the closet as much as possible.
We want to put up the insulation material and then actually create a bed. This is only the first layer out of 3 on this wall. Then we're actually going to put up this. This is a little bit more of an extreme coverage. We'll put that up next, and then we'll put a final layer of foam on top of that.
Okay.
You guys think you can help me with that?
Sounds good.
Rock and roll. Let's do it.
And with all the new equipment we're adding, comes the need for added outlets.
We're putting in air hose reels, a number of them, so anywhere Casey turns, he'll have one at his disposal.
And it looks like we finally got the studs reinforced for the tire racks. Now we've got to cover up the missing drywall with sections of CDX plywood, which not only acts as extra reinforcement, but also serves as the mounting panels for the racks themselves.
I'm having a great time here. I am learning stuff.
Even though this is an industrial setting, all of this stuff is applicable to the home setting as well. I mean, Casey and Eddie are already doing it, and they can see how easy it is to pick up the tools and the skills.
Okay, when we got here to the car and driver garage, it was nothing short of an absolute mess. But it's the end of day one, and it already looks like a completely different space. I'm feeling pretty good.
Coming up, we'll show you an easy way to make sure you don't lose the location of your joist in the box structure.
You always want to mark the location of your joist or your runner.
And then, if you want a cool way to give your garage some hot rod accents, sometimes all you have to do is take a trip to the junkyard.
This is a great way to cheaply accent your garage.
Stick around. The test garage here at the headquarters for Car and Driver magazine looked more like a cluttered storage bin than a high-tech facility you'd expect for such a respected publication. Fortunately, we're here to make things right. So we cleared out the mess and got to work.
Okay, morning of day 2, we're in a good place, but I gotta say, today is gonna be a tough day. The #1 priority is getting the flooring installed because the cabinetry cannot go in until the floor is done.
All right, Bill, sending Darren to the junkyard. You're our car guy.
Okay.
We want to do something with a wall sconce idea. Hoping to diffuse some light. Thinking hubcaps. Any thoughts?
I'd go, you know, Chrysler dog dishes. I'd go an old wire wheel.
Okay.
I'd kind of run the gamut. The hubcaps aren't going to be expensive at the junkyard by any stretch of the imagination, so I'd get as many different styles as possible.
How many of those are we going to be putting up?
I'd like 5 or 6, depending on what you can find.
So I'm going to run the gamut. I'm going to get a whole plethora of caps, and I'm out of here.
What are you waiting for?
Get out of here.
Adios.
While Darren makes the trip to the junkyard, Dave begins work on the driving simulator. We're using a Murphy bed setup for the simulator, so adjustments are being made to the directions before the building can begin.
What's up, brother?
The yellow one has one set of dimensions. The blue one has a different set of dimensions for the same thing.
So you're doing your own directions?
I am, but you know, I think it's worth it because if I spend enough time in here getting all this all laid out, when I get out there, hopefully everything just fits together like a puzzle.
As the cabinets are being built out in the parking lot, it's time to bring in the tire racks and test out the newly reinforced studs. She works! Now that we know they'll support the weight, Casey and I get to work installing the rest. Good job. And over at the junkyard, Darren's making his way through the wreckage to find our hubcaps.
I'm looking for metal hubcaps specifically. They're much easier to work with, plus we're going to get that real classic old feel. We want something that goes on the wall that looks like it belongs as an art piece instead of just a piece of junk on the wall. That's a beauty. This is a great way to find usable building materials out of trash.
And remember, if you want information on these or any other projects, visit our website at DIYnetwork.com.
I'm jumping in with Dave and Steve so we can get a head start on the simulator platform.
So what do we got going, man?
Well, so far we've got everything all pre-cut. These are going to be the ribs, or these are going to be the runners. So we're going to take these, we're going to screw them together like an L shape. Once we get these together, they'll sit down, and that's what the actual platform is going to sit on. So that'll be our first phase, and once we get that, then we'll go ahead and build the cabinet. And once the cabinet's built, we'll attach it to and have the hideaway system.
These guys right now are, having to pull down this to get this up and down. Probably have to do a jack shaft or a side mount motor. To automate this is ideal because they're having to lift this thing every single time.
Absolutely.
So we call in our good friend Brian to get to work installing the side-mounted opener. But before we can get to the door, Casey rolls in with a new compressor.
600-pound compressor in here. Pretty nice.
Yeah, it is pretty nice.
This thing's gonna rock this room. Thankfully, we have the soundproofing up, but now we got to get the air hose to it and some power.
Things are starting to come together, and now Darren's back with our hot rod wall art.
Check it out, boys. All right, so what we'll plan on doing is actually taking this, mounting it to the wall, having some spacers to hold it off. The light fixture will be hardwired here, and the light will diffuse off the sides.
Anybody can go to a junkyard and get hubcaps and adorn their garage with whatever they like.
Definitely.
It's a cool way.
Anytime you're installing plywood over a floor or a deck, or in this case, this is going to be our platform, you always want to mark the location of your joists or your runners. That way you know where to insert your nails or your screws. We're going to snap this, and now that way it'll tell us to go ahead and where to put our screws in.
Car and Driver Test Garage has a floor that looks like that. I cannot believe it. So what are we gonna do? We're gonna roll out some rubberized flooring. It's gonna be nice, it's gonna be clean. The edges are gonna be beautiful, and it's gonna be functional. Your flooring is here, and your directions are here.
Should we get to it?
Let's do it.
All right.
So Eddie, what do you think about the floor?
Looks great.
It's easy to clean up, so if the oil falls down on the floor, easy to wipe up.
I just can't believe how easy it is to install. You know, this thing went down quick. We just cut it up, throw it down.
Day 2 is coming to a close. We got a hell of a lot done. The #1 goal today was to get the flooring cleaned out, okay? So that we can get this new flooring in. It's about 80% done. Our next big step is to get the cabinets installed. So bring it on. Coming up, we'll show you the quickest way to turn your regular garage into a functional shop garage. All you need is a little lift. I cannot wait to see Casey's face when we install it. And then we'll give you a quick and easy way to turn unused wall space into tool storage.
What we're trying to do, give you all kinds of flexibility.
Stick around. Beginning of day 3, as you can see, we got 50 things going at once, so time is money. A lot of goodies we're putting in the Car and Driver garage, but my favorite, and the one that's going to really take it over the top, and the one piece of equipment that every garage needs, let alone the Car and Driver Test Garage, is going to be a lift. Tell me some specs on this thing. It looks like a low-profile 2-post.
Yeah, it's our 9FX. The lift is about 9 feet tall. It's rated at 9,000 pounds.
The thing is absolutely awesome, and I cannot wait to see Casey's face when we install it. For the viewers out there, you can have it installed in home garages.
Oh, yeah,
it doesn't have to be the Car and Driver garage by any stretch. I'm always surprised as to what this team can do in a short period of time.
And as our projects start to come together, we bring in the cabinets, start hanging the diamond plate, and get to work installing the slat wall.
We're getting the slat wall put in place for you. What we're trying to do, give you all kinds of flexibility. Full combination of hooks. Once we get the wall, we're gonna run it right up here to the top.
Okay.
You slide the hooks in, pull down, and it locks them in place.
And now that the slat wall is up in Casey's workstation, it's time to bring in the bench, install the sink, and top it off with some very cool scales.
How's it coming, Darren?
Very good, Bill. What we've got here is the bracketry for the projector. We're going to drill these into this car lift. We're going to use self-tapping metal screws. Okay. And when they go through, if a little bit of the head is there, we go at it with just a screwdriver and hammer it off.
And as the touch-up paint is being applied to the simulator box, Dave and I are preparing to affix the diamond plate on the platform.
One of the reasons we're going to use this liquid nails in addition to the screwing, is because if screwing around the perimeter and areas, you may get a little bit of deflection, you may get a little bit of movement in that. And because it's such a thin surface, we want it to adhere all the way down.
With this construction adhesive, what's the dry time on it?